Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors on the back balls behind me. If you are going to do a bit of business, then please keep it in the Millwall family and check out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. Now, this is a bit of a midweek roundup show. Today should be a pre-match prediction for Sheffield United, but obviously last night we drew 0-0 at the Den with Queen's Park Rangers, so instead of doing two separate videos, I'm just going to consolidate them both in this one VT. Sorry, I'm very tired after last night. Lots of filming. Let's start out, I ain't going to name the team. It was an unchanged side from the side that won 2-0 against West Brom on Saturday. And completely different performance. Completely different performance. We was in the box last night. I treated the boys at Lions TV sort of our end of season do. I got a box at a very reasonable price, and thanks to Trustee Limited for that. So we had a few beers. We wasn't. I wasn't focusing on the game like I usually do. Put it that way. But their goalkeeper's come off. You could have ate your dinner off his kit. It was just weren't a scratch on him. Strangely enough, I've looked at the stats and it said we had 7 shots, 3 on target, and 59% possession. So maybe them Peronis did kick in, but from what I saw, we just did not get going from the first whistle to the last. Not one player, rose to the occasion. And listen, it was an occasion. It was a London derby. Our crowd wasn't great. Their crowd was horrendous for a London derby, numbers wise. And someone said something to me last night. Us as fans were all there and we're getting so frustrated together, which probably unfairly maybe reflected in our post-match interviews, which I'll get onto in a minute. But a lot of these players out of contract and playing for contract. So if I'm one of the boys on the pitch, I'm getting together and saying, look, a few of us out of contract here, we fucking play and do well. Keep us up. We'll get to keep the clips together. We'll get to stay together, and crack on as we are. Because yes, they're footballers, but it's a job to them, and they need to be earning money. They need security in their life. So I just don't know what. Listen, it's impossible to pinpoint, and we're never going to work it out now. But how the players, and I'm fed up with doing this action, but from there to there, again, from the team that beat West Brom to the team that played last night, which didn't turn up, and I don't blame the manager for that. I don't blame the manager at all. Didn't agree with the manager's substitutions again. As I've said before, when things aren't going right on the pitch, then you try something off the bench to change that. QPR came for a point. They wanted a point because it didn't change anything with the league standards if it did remain as it did. But in fairness, I thought they could have won the game. They had the better chances. But yeah, I don't blame Neil Harris for the way the players didn't perform. But just again, it wasn't working with Marshall on the left. And I keep saying I don't know why he plays on the left, because he's never ever played on the left for any club he's ever played for other than ours. But he kept cutting in which that slows the game down and allows teams to reset defensively. And he brings on Aiden, and listen, Aiden done fine. I thought Aiden done well. He worked hard when he came on. But you're not changing anything. You're going like for like. If something needs to change, you need to create more chances. We desperately need Shane Ferguson back on the side, and there's something I never thought I'd hear myself say. But, we need people overlapping, getting beyond. Our left-hand side, we don't really get forward as much as we do on the right. We fly forward on the right with Jed and Romeo usually. Last night Romeo wasn't really getting beyond Jed. I said in my post-match as well last night at the ground in one of the fan cams that Jed's hit 6 crosses first time into the left-back, 6 in a row. He just hit it straight into there. Deliveries ain't good enough. But Marlon wasn't getting beyond him. And we usually get forward a lot on our right, but we concede more goals down our right, if that makes sense. But on the left, we don't get forward as much, but we don't concede as many. But we need Fergie back in that side. James Meredith's done well while he stood in. But we've either got to put Fergie back left wing or left back, because he gets beyond, he does get deliveries into the box, and it gives us a bit of variation. It gives us a bit of balance. We don't have that in a minute. So yeah, bringing on Aiden for Marshall didn't do anything. Then he tried to change it. He takes off Tunnicliffe, I think it was, and puts on Morrison. I was about 8 Peronis deep by that point. But yeah, Morrison, club legend, love him. Give him one of the greatest memories ever at Wembley again. I'll say it, Bradford, Huddersfield in the playoffs before. So many memories, but he cannot play football at this level anymore. He just can't. He can't play football at this level. But listen, it's all fucking negative. And last night, I'm going to hold my hands up. we was all in that box together, and I think we was having a good time, we was enjoying ourselves. I think we really, really wanted, I mean, you always really want Mill to win, but we was desperate for a little bit of excitement and a bit of a goal in there to lift us. But it didn't come, and because we was all sitting in the same place, watching the game from the same view, the same perspective, I think that might have affected our fan cams. In fact, it did, because we was all of the same opinions, and it was on the whole negative opinions, which, strangely enough, you know, if you look at it on a positive point of view, we've got 4 points from our last 2 games. We've kept 2 clean sheets in a row in the league. We still haven't gone into the bottom 3 at any point. We've actually gone from 21st last night up to 19th in the table. So if you looked at that, you know, from a week ago, you would have took that. You would have took that. It's because we've beaten the better side in West Brom. They were expecting us to beat QPR, but QPR were a more physical side than West Brom. They're a less talented side than West Brom. So the game became scrappy, and it didn't really work out for us. But I think we was guilty. Lions TV as a whole were guilty last night, being a little bit too negative in the fan cams. So yeah, sorry about that. Maybe that's, you know, I don't know I'm apologising, because it is what it is. It's football. But in the cold light of day, on reflection, yes, it wasn't a great performance, but we still really haven't been anywhere near we're near the relegation zone. We still haven't been in the relegation zone all season. So as I say, it's one more game on the board. It's one more point better off. You know, we're better off than we was before the game's kicked off. So we are strangely enough, and we are slowly moving forward, and things are improving. And we've only got 5 games left. So, you know, if we lose at Sheffield United on Saturday, which I'll get into in a minute, if Rotherham lose, if Wigan lose, if Reading lose, it doesn't really matter as long as we just match their results now until the end of the season. But I think you know, maybe because I said in our fan cams we was too critical, I think it's just worry as well. It's just worry in the love of the football club and not wanting us to go down. We'd all love to go to Wigan on the last day. Well, if we do go to Wigan on the last day and it's not, you know, the result doesn't matter because we're safe, hopefully, touch wood, then there'll be about 200 of us up there. But if not, obviously we'll take a load at it. But we don't want it to go to that last day. We want to start enjoying our summer early. But yeah, 0-0, full time last night. On reflection, we've gone up 2 league places and it's 4 points from 2 games. So it was frustrating, yes. Did we play well? No. Would you have taken it a week ago? Absolutely. And so we move on to this Saturday. We are, of course, away to Sheffield United. They are managed by Chris Wilder and they are in their 2nd season, but the syndrome has not hit them. Quite the opposite. They are absolutely flying, and they was in the promotion places before last night when they drew 1-1 away at Birmingham, and Leeds now in turn have gone back into the automatic promotion places. Yes, they come up with us at the same time as us in the same division. Yes, they won the league and we went up in the playoffs. And yes, we did a finish above them last season. So, you know, again, I'm trying to show both sides of the coin. A lot of Mill fans may be going, well, look what Sheffield United have done. You know, they've done it in their 2nd season. Sheffield United are a massive club. Let's have it right. You know, predominantly, again, I'll say a Premiership club. Massive city. 2 clubs in the city. You know, massive crowds. So, and they've spent money. You know, they have spent money. They brought in Gary Medine. They've got firepower up front, which we haven't got. Billy Sharp, 23 goals. David McGoldrick, 13 goals this season. And then they've got Medine to come off the bench. They've got Kieran Dowell to come off the bench, who's on loan from Everton. They're, you know, could we get a player on loan from Everton? No, it wouldn't happen. So I do sympathise again with the manager, you know, and the structure of our club. And if we finish 19th, 20th, then I'm absolutely over the moon with it. So when we go to Sheffield United on Saturday, it's going to be very, very difficult. And I think that played a big part in a lot of us really craving and demanding that win last night, because it's going to be very, very difficult up there. They're a good side. They're a strong side. They remind me of Millwall in a way. As, you know, they got a guy in charge who supports the club. He wants the best for Sheffield United. They're an honest side. They're hard working, but they do have talent. The one to watch is going to be Billy Sharp, without doubt. As I said, 23 goals. No one's scored more goals than him in all 4 divisions of the EFL League this season. So it's going to be a very, very difficult away day. We went there last year. We drew 1-1. We scored literally from kick-off after they scored. Steve Morrison got the goal. And I would absolutely bite your hand off right now for a point. It's a pre-match prediction, so I'm going to have to give you one. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Sheffield United win. Unfortunately, it pains me to say it, I am going to Sheffield United for the 3rd year in a row this season. So, I don't want to say that, but I've got to call it as I see it. I've got to be honest. And although our performances have been better of late, it's a step too far. They're just too strong for me, especially at home. And we will find it very, very difficult to get a result up there. You know, but having said that, other teams around us, they've got difficult fixtures, and you know, if they don't do the business, then if they all lose, then it ain't the end of the world. You know, we could have been in a lot better position going into this game, really. If we'd have won last night, we would have borderline been safe. We've still got games in hand on teams around us. That's Bristol City at home in a couple of weeks' time. But the next 3 games now, Sheffield United away, Brentford home, London derby, Aston Villa away. Not easy games at all, and we'd like to try and pick up enough points in those 3 games to get it done and dusted before we have our last 2, which is Bristol City, and then away to Wigan. And that's your lot for this midweek roundup. I will see you at Bramall Lane Saturday if you are going. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.